Okay, so listen guys, I'm going to get into the mind of some of these reptiles today and talk to you about things like their behavior and stuff like that. I've had a bunch of people say, what do I do when I have a snake that's a little aggressive and I can't hold it? I want to hold it. Well, the fact is that snakes really aren't aggressive, they're defensive. Take for instance Lucky here. He's actually a defensive animal, and I'm not going to talk to you a ton about Lucky other than the fact that I'm going to show you how I handle something like this that can help you in handling your snake. But I'm talking more about ball pythons, maybe a pet snake. These aren't really pet snakes typically, but what I want to do is I want to distract them and then get them from the back side, right? You never want to go face first into a snake, especially a snake that is defensive like Lucky. If you get it from the back, you can actually handle him, and see, I didn't even get bit. Now I can kind of get him preoccupied over here to where he doesn't look at my face and he's striking this way. It's just a matter of trying to get into the head and the behavior of the actual animal itself, and that's the way that you can actually not get bitten by snakes, well, at least most of the time. Every now and then, even I make mistakes and get bitten. That fact is, but it's more about your pet snake, not really an Amazon tree boa that don't really make that great of pets. So now let's get on to, say you have a piebald ball python, and this one's actually in a rack, but let's say it's in an enclosure in your house and stuff like that, and let's say when you go like this, it gets a little bit defensive. Now this one isn't at all, but what you want to do again is pick it up from the back away from the head, and then you're going to avoid any strikes and stuff like that. And oftentimes once an animal gets up, even sometimes it'll be a little defensive too. You got to remember, we want to get into snake's heads, right? We want to think like a reptile. And when you think like a reptile, and you can see this guy starting to come out, and if I got close enough, it would actually probably see that. I knew it was going to strike, right? But again, now if you actually have this animal and you start getting scared of it, and you're like, oh my gosh, look at the snake is striking, I better put it down. Oh my gosh. Now what is that telling the snake, right? It's telling the snake that I'm afraid of this person, and the way I can get him or her to set me down is to strike. So again, now I'm going to pick it up from the back again. Now I'm going to continue to hold this animal. I'm going to try to make this good experience for the snake, right? I'm going to try to keep it moving so that it doesn't get defensive. I've got to build up the fact that it isn't afraid of me, right? Because it's just defensive. You got to remember, it's a little snake in a big world, and to them, they're looking at you as like a potential predator, right? Oh my God, this guy's going to eat me or something like that. So what you have to do is slowly build those threads of trust. What you don't want to do is put that snake back after it strikes at you, because then it tells that snake that all I have to do is strike and he's going to set me down, right? So again, make sure that when you do set it down, the last thing you want to do is make sure it's not striking at you, and set it down like this, and then just have that end result be a good result. That way you're starting to build the threads of confidence in the animal itself, like, wait a second, that wasn't that bad of an experience, and you got to continue that on over and over again. And again, the last thing you want to do is be afraid of your animal. You don't want it afraid of you, and you certainly don't want to be afraid of it. So if for some reason you pick up an animal and it just like is striking and you just can't get over the fear, I promise you, when you have a little ball python or a corn snake, even if it bites, it's not even going to hurt. Even this Hypoburmese Penelope at this size, if it bit me, it really wouldn't hurt. But I understand snake bites are kind of scary to people, and I get it. You can always wear some like little leather gloves or something like that. That way you feel protected, right? And you start to gain those confidence. And I'm telling you, we have taken so many reptiles that have been super defensive and striking and striking and striking, and we just held them and held them and held them and gained those threads of trust. Make them realize that we're not bad, that we're not dangerous. They don't have to be afraid of us and be defensive against us. And once you get past that, they become absolutely amazing animals. So again, my advice to you is don't put that snake down if it's striking at you. Put it down when it stops striking at you. The same goes when it comes to lizards. I mean, look at what Bruce has done with Baby Kush here. I mean, you remember when Baby Kush first came, it was like ridiculous, and I mean, it literally just wanted to destroy us. And you can see now that, you know, it's slowly getting better and better, you know. Now again, it's still in progress now, but you know, you can see that Bruce can come in here, he can put his hands in, Baby Kush starts thinking, because again, now he's not afraid of Bruce, right? It's actually creating a relationship, and then all of these experiences that Bruce is doing with them are creating those, again, those threads of like trust between them. And now you can see, look at him, he'll just pick them straight up like that. Again, no way in the world we could have done that just 6 months ago, because he was just crazy. Now Baby Kush does have some dagger when it comes to actual nails, but you can see, look at how amazing this guy is right here, and look at that animal right there. I mean, is that absolutely incredible? I'm telling you what, those claws are ridiculous. I mean, he literally he just literally touched me 1 second and it just goes right in. But look at how far he's come. And the way that that's happened is, again, Bruce here has just spent hours and hours and hours of habituating him. And look at this. He'll just come right over, pet him on the chin. And again, you know, he's a little bit defensive, but nothing like he used to be. And that's just time. That's lots of time and effort. I mean, it's amazing. And you could do the same thing, again, whether that comes to a lizard, a snake, or whatever the case is. I mean, it's amazing how far baby Kush has come. I mean, just look at this animal right there. It's absolutely incredible. But boy, I tell you what, handling that thing, that is a tree dragon right there. And he's bleeding, I'm bleeding. That's from his nails, and that's not, again, aggression whatsoever. That's just him hanging on. That is an amazing animal. But you can see how far you can take an animal's behavior just through those threads of confidence that they get. The more confident they get, the less defensive they get. And certainly there's no better example even with Elvis. Now, when we got Elvis, it wasn't that he was aggressive at all, but he was definitely a little nervous around people. For whatever reason, he just was a little bit afraid of people, to be totally honest with you. And now, you know, you can see, just look at this guy. I mean, he's just like hanging out on me like he's a puppy dog or something like that. And again, I think it's just breaking that whole thing down into a situation where you think about it on the simplest level, right? Like, what are these animals thinking, and how can we get them to think the way we want them to think, you know? And basically that is just, again, gaining confidence. The more confident they are, the less afraid they are of you, and the more confident you are of keeping them, the better it's going to be. And then you have an animal like Elvis here that is literally more like a puppy dog than he is a reptile. He just absolutely is crazy cool. I love this little dude right now. And I hope this helps you on your journey of loving reptiles and learning that your reptile can be way more than you ever thought it could be if you can open up how beautiful they actually are. What are you doing, Elvis? You just hanging out with me, buddy? I tell you what, when you get experiences like this, guys, it's next level, and I know you can all have him as well. I mean, he is just absolutely wonderful. Back at you guys with my friends over at Raycon. You guys know that I've been working with these guys for the last couple years, and I've been wearing these Raycons for the last couple years too. The earbuds are just so comfortable. They're so amazing, and I literally use them every day. Every morning I listen to music. I often listen to podcasts when I'm working. I'll listen to inspirational books and stuff like that. And now with the holiday season here, it's a great gift idea. Last year I gave Raycons to a bunch of my family, and they still are using them every single day to this day. So this year, there's no doubt more people on my Christmas list are going to be getting Raycons. And Raycon's always improving. Now with their new ear tips, they're actually more comfortable. The fit is even better. I mean, you know, they're amazing. I mean, you don't even feel them in their ear. And you know, I do a lot of phone calls throughout the day too. So now with their one-touch answer feature with the internal microphone, you could take phone calls as well. You know, if you're, you know, doing your business and stuff like that. It's just nice to be wireless and hands-free, especially with a life like mine. I may be working with animals and I can't have a phone to my ear. And it's crazy that Raycon earbuds can actually have 8 hours of playtimes without actually being plugged in. And then with this awesome carry case, you've got 32 hours before you have to plug them in. That is a lot of time. And I definitely have went over those 32 hours as well. And with the improved bass, I mean, they sound great. They're great if you're listening to music or whatever you happen to be listening to. And what most people think the best part about the Raycon earbuds is the fact that they start at about half the price as other premium brands, but sound just as good. And you know what? If for some reason you get Raycon earbuds and you're not happy with them, they have a free 45-day return policy. But there's no way, again, I know hundreds of people that have bought Raycons and not one of them have returned them. Click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/BrianB to unlock exclusive deals up to 20% off your Raycon order. And we use the same kind of technique when it comes to breeding snakes, right? I try to simplify things, and I try to break them down to the most common, easy way to figure out how to be successful when you're actually breeding an animal. So take, for instance, this pie ball python. This is a female that she's about 1,550 grams right now. She could be fatter. She could be 1,700 grams. But what we do is we actually maintain feed them over the summer. That's much like what would happen over in West Africa, Ghana, Togo, and Benin. There's going to be periods of time where there's lots of food during the wet season, the monsoon season, and then during the dry season, food is going to be a little bit sparse, and that's one of the reasons why ball pythons go off of food, right? So when your ball python stops feeding, it's a natural thing, right? It's not like something wrong with the animal. In the wild, for thousands and thousands of years, these animals have been binge feeders, where they feed a lot when there's a lot of food, and then when there's hardly any food, they go on strikes because there's just not food available. With that being said, we kind of simulate that same thing in captivity. And what we want to do is maintain feed them during the summertime, and then when it gets to the fall, right before breeding season, which essentially is like the monsoon season over in West Africa, we start really increasing that food. And this is two things. This simulates what happens in the wild, number one, and number two, think about it. Let's just break it down simply, right? If you're a female ball python, are you going to produce babies if you know there's not food available, right? If you have little amount of food or just enough food to survive, you're probably not going to want your babies to hatch out and actually perish because there's not food available. But if that food increases tremendously just before breeding season, that sends that signal to that female like, oh my gosh, there's an abundance of food. I can now have babies. My babies are going to thrive because there's an abundance of food, right? So we're trying to get in the snake's mind, think what they think, and actually use that to our benefit, not only in handling it as a pet, but also from a breeding standpoint to be successful. And that's why we typically have such a high percentage of production when it comes to all of our animals, as we do food cycles as much as we do temperature cycles. It's all about the psychology of the actual snake itself.
Today we're gonna feed Monitor Motion Toothless, and he looks super ready. So let's just offer it to him. He's really ball trained now, so we're just gonna offer this to him. See what he does. That's the cup. It's almost my hand. Look at him, destroying it. Fantastic. I feel like he's honestly doubled in size since I've been here, and I've been here almost a year now. Wow, that's crazy. He's just getting so big. He's such a good boy though. Man, he's destroying it. I love how Toothless is also the one animal that doesn't care how close to his face you get with the camera. Like, I still get weirded out when you get like that. It's just crazy.
He's been getting filmed since he was a baby.
There should be one of those like behind the scenes where like I have the other camera showing you how close you actually are. You're doing so good, Toothy. Keep going, buddy.
I'm excited about this, guys. I'm going to put a link right in the description right here, and you can actually join Reptile Army's Discord. That's right, tons of cool things on this Discord. You just click that link, it's the invite, you can join and come hang out with us. I mean, I'll be hanging out. There's going to be so much stuff coming up on this Discord. You're definitely going to want to be a part of it, so go ahead, link in the description.
Alright guys, you see what I got here? This is used for, you don't want to know, but we're going to use it to check on our tarantula that recently buried itself. Okay, come look. Have you seen, Mike?
I don't want to.
Have you seen this, Mike? I don't know the species name, but look at this. I'm going to open it up here. And you see that mound in the back right there? It recently built a home. It built itself a home. So what we're going to do is we're going to check on it, because I've been wanting to see what it's doing. Bruce says it may be molting. Let's power up. Oh, okay. We're gonna stick it in there, hopefully not get attacked, but at the same time.
I'm just letting you know that right now.
Oh my god, this is.
Do you see it?
No, I'm scared, dude.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what is that? No, that's just web.
Oh my god, this is.
As soon as you touch the web, it's gonna jump out. Oh, something moved.
Oh, did you see its leg? Did you see its leg, dude? Oh my god.
He's shaking as bad as I am. We have an 8-foot camera.
I can't stop shaking. This is like prehistoric paranormal activity. Look at me shaking.
I'm shaking, dude.
Look at the camera angle.
Just stick it through the web. Oh, that's his face right there. So like,
wow. Oh, I'm close. Did you guys see that?
What if that was the molten, not the tarantula?
Wow. Whoa. Okay. So that was the main entrance. We're gonna go through the exit, all right? Because I think that can be a better shot. Wow, this is getting the adrenaline going. The exit is where this leaf is. I'm telling you, this is the coolest thing though with tarantulas. It did this whole, we didn't do this. Mike,
I'm gonna take my pills. I'm getting old. It's my afternoon pill time.
Jesus.
Wait, so at the entrance, boy.
That's the entrance.
If it was the face, why are we going in at the butt?
You don't know. What the hell was that?
So I'm just kind of creepily staring over your shoulder.
Oh, you see its butt? Dude, you see that butt?
So see how it's bald? That's because it kicks hairs all the time. And she might actually be ready to molt soon.
And that's why we think it buried itself. Oh, it just kicked hairs at us. It's not happy. We're done.
I think I felt it. I'm gonna die.
Oh no. All right, Mike, you're next.
Don't touch me with that.
And I hope this kind of helped you if you're having any issues with your snake or lizard or whatever the case may be. I just wanted to kind of tell you how I think about things, and I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor, right over here is a playlist. You can watch a couple other videos. If you don't mind, also hit that subscription button right over here. Turn the post notifications on. Have an absolutely wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you in the next one.